If you don't put yourself out of business, somebody else will. Have you guys ever heard that advice before in business? I know when I tell it to clients, I'm usually referring to a strategy that can be looked at two different ways. First one is internally through that lens, and that's kind of the idea that you need to make sure you are innovating, being disruptive in all of the processes or just the way you think about your business to make sure that the business you're creating is constantly evolving at or ahead of the speed of the market. Then the other side, externally, looking through that lens, it's the idea of creating a competitor to your current business. I think you guys have heard me say this a ton of different ways, but the idea that new innovations are impacting us at a substantial rate, and businesses need to move swiftly to keep pace as the market evolves. With the speed in which the market is moving today, sometimes it's not enough just to pivot in your business. Truth is, the hole that many brands are in right now is just too deep to crawl out of with just a simple pivot. Much of what businesses are doing today is basically innovating to parity, or sometimes I frame it as focusing on the defensive side of the strategic plan. And what I'm talking about here is that you are essentially innovating to catch up with your competitors so that you can match some of what they're offering and what customers have come to expect in the market. And what this ends up doing is it doesn't create any competitive advantage at all. You're not truly innovating. What happens is when you finally catch up to that competitor while innovating to parity, when you get to that point, that competitor is likely 2 to 3 steps ahead of you again. So you're just constantly in the cycle of playing catch up. But to be honest, I get it. I understand what's going through the mind of the entrepreneur. I've been a strategy consultant now for 7 years, worked with dozens, if not over 100 different entrepreneurs. And there is a common thread that happens where you're looking at short-term results too often. You are what I say a lot to clients, you're in the weeds, just too much, putting out fires, not really focused on taking that helicopter up to 10,000 feet and looking at the long-term vision for your company. So focusing on these short-term results are impeding your ability to focus on your long-term success of your business. And this might work for a bit, might work for a period of time that's short-term, and that short-term period might roll into maybe some intermediary period and you're thinking you're doing okay, but eventually it catches up to you. So I want to look at this idea of putting yourself out of business, making sure that you're the one putting yourself out of business, not somebody else putting yourself out of business. You want to control your own destiny here. You want to make sure that you're always in control of the things that you can control. You're always focusing on evolving and changing with where the market is going. Internally, I understand that change is not easy. It's never easy. It doesn't matter how accepting you are of change, just not easy when it's in your face. But many of you that are listening to this are struggling in some aspect of this new dynamically changing, evolving business landscape and looking for some different ideas. So this is one mindset, one framework of thought to think about in your business. Questions you need to be asking yourself if you are going to be looking internally to put yourself out of business is, are you willing to undergo core shifts in your products? I talk a lot about consumer packaged goods here, so that's what I'm focused on here. So we're talking about a physical product. We're not talking about a service. We're not talking about, software as a service, any of those types of things. Can apply in that manner as well, but we're talking about physical products here. So are you willing to undergo core shift in your products to meet the needs of the evolving market? Are you willing to change the way you distribute those products, interact, communicate with your customers? And by doing these things, are you willing to go through some hurt, go through some change that's going to happen with your existing customer base, some element of brand equity that's going to get lost, hard-earned brand equity, that core customer leaving for a larger, more attractive audience in the future? These are the questions you need to be answering honestly about your business. If you're romantic about how you make your money, what products you sell, all the different processes within your business, you don't want to change things, you want to rock the boat, you just kind of want to keep going with what you're doing, it might be best to look at putting yourself out of business before somebody else in the other way that I was talking about, the external way. Put that existing business in cruise control, do what you can to cut costs and make sure that it's going to become a cash cow for you. But while doing that, you want to take everything you've learned and launch an external competitor of yours. Maybe a direct competitor, maybe an ancillary competitor, But odds are, if you're in the weeds all day long, your baby, your business that you've been growing for a long period of time, you know what to do in that style, that type of business. You've learned a lot of hard lessons through that business, both good and bad, that you can apply to a new business. And odds are that you've stumbled on some things that maybe didn't closely fit your existing business, but they were kind of new interests. Maybe you started the business in one category, but eventually life kind of pushed you towards another category that you got interested in, but it didn't really fit that existing business. You were scared to innovate drastically, radically in your business, so you kept it on the back burner. This is that opportunity to take all of that, bundle it all together, and you're going to create another competitor that one day might force you to make a decision to either sell or close your original business. And I know this video maybe glossed over a lot of details around resources and your availability to do this, budgets, different things like that. Just wanted to make sure I introduced a concept like this to you, make sure you have a different framework of thinking about this subject. I understand that a lot of times you're looking at incremental innovations, you're looking to extend the runway a little bit in your business. You assume you have a ton of time left in your business to come out of whatever struggles you have, but what you're seeing in this market now that's aggressively moving, is dynamic, is one of those things that fracturing and fragmenting, and there's new competitors getting into the game each day. You need to think critically about your business, change the way you think about your business, and this is just one concept that'll hopefully help you in your business. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to help support me, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button on this video. If this is the first time you've been introduced to my videos, would love for you guys to be a part of my community by subscribing to my channel. I upload several videos just like this weekly, and if you guys want to connect further outside of this platform, I do include all of my social media links down below. I just want to thank you guys again for your time. Hopefully I gave you some value in return, and we'll see you guys on the next video.